Well, welcome to the Friday Bubble. Today we're in Mareuil-sur-Aÿ at Billecart-Salmon, looking at their Blanc de Blanc. Now, I'm a little bit more excited than normal today because for the first time they've actually released the Magnums to us. They've made them before, but they've only really had them at the house, so you could never taste them in the markets. So it's a wonderful opportunity to see this. So how did the name come about, I hear you ask me? Louis Salmon. Louis was actually the brother of Elisabeth Salmon, and Elisabeth married Nicolas-François Billecart and came together to form the house. So here we are with a Blanc de Blanc. Let's see, this is from several villages, but a good chunk of it is actually from Les Menil. Now, 2012 vintage, Les Menil Chardonnay.
Yeah.
What would you kind of expect as a sort of style of this?
Well, I definitely expect something very intense.
Right.
Brisk acidity, quite steely, super mineral, lots of power there. So the core is formed by the two great villages, Les Menil, by chunk of it, and then also Caman, and then a little bit of Cuvee and a little bit of Winery as well, a much more rarely seen crus.
Because we tend to see quite a lot of concentration in these 2012s,
Oh
don't
yeah,
we?
absolutely, and that's wonderful about them. They're really full of fruit, very small yield in the year, so very powerful fruit-packed wines, but wines that come with a lot of acidity as well. So they're very delicious already at youth, but I think they'll be a good ager as well.
Yeah, so we're looking, well, I think 2012s, we're hoping, we had that lovely little duo, 2012 and 13, almost polar opposites. 13 being a much cool linear year, 12 having this lovely fruit expression, but also quite good acidity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and for this particular wine, they've decided to go for like a fourth of the wines have gone through fermentation in oak.
Okay.
So probably bringing a little bit of extra richness and vinosity, complexity to it.
There's a nice bit of spice just starting to come through on that.
Yeah.
And it's that really ripe, I love this characteristic of the apple, where it's what I call those really rich red apples.
Yeah. Vanilla, a touch of vanilla as well. Very, very rich and sweet. Verging, towards tropical fruit even.
So 2012 we had quite a lot of ripeness in the vineyards, and I think that the expression I'm seeing, you've got that pineapple, you've got that beautiful toasty pineapple, but straight behind it there's like really zingy grapefruit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, lovely. Even on the I've already tasted, so there was quite a lot of this grapefruit skin type bitterness, delicious salivating bitterness on the palate. Good vinosity. I think super youthful still, the wine. You do want to keep this for some extra years. Well, let's see about the Magnum then. I'm sure that's a baby. If this one was so youthful, let's see if the Magnum is.
So these were disgorged at quite similar times. Unusual actually to do that, Essie.
Yeah, that's right. That often the Magnums are given a much longer time on the lease, which makes comparing them a little bit tougher. So it'll be interesting now. But I think what we will see is more like.
No, don't do that. That had a lot more pressure than I was expecting it to. Actually, I thought that was going to pop off a little bit more gently. Well, the Magnum's made its entrance, that's for sure. Let's do what I'm fascinated to do, which is the comparison.
Lovely.
Now, we always talk about the Magnum effect, Essie. Are you seeing it?
Definitely. The nose is super useful for the Magnum, like it's and the fruit profile is a bit cooler, not so tropical.
Right, it is.
But very lemony, like lovely lemon confit, lemon meringue tart type of delicious yellow fruit here.
It's really fascinating because until you go back and have a look at the bottle again, you don't realise how what you just described is so. They actually are a long way apart.
Yeah.
So there's some lovely development, and there's a bit more richness in the bottle. There's definitely a much more cool.
But amazing intensity in both of them. They're really fruit packed. Beautiful textured. This is like a very, very silky. Even like fluffier and lovely mousse as well, very refined.
I'm glad you used fluffy,
Yeah.
because it does. It has this,
Yeah.
it sort of dances really beautifully light. Now, the lovely thing in 2012, as we get these years where there's plenty of warmth, so this was a year I think they had nice warm days, but quite cool nights.
Yeah.
So you've got lots of acidity in there, and they've only felt they needed 3.9 grams. So the dosage is very much in the background. In fact, you can't even tell it's there. So that's rather lovely because the richness is there from the fruit. The texture though, Essie, I'm picking up that lemony, like a little bit of waxy lemon.
Yeah.
Is
It's-
coming through
yeah,
on the
and I'm
Magnum.
getting also, especially on the Magnum, some cotton candy, like
Yeah.
burnt sugar related, beautiful deliciousness. It's very, very beautiful.
And then go back, aromatically, what are you seeing? How do you describe the bottle?
It's funny, it feels like there's more even red fruit, like there's absolutely no red fruit here, but
Yes.
here is the red apple, which you mentioned earlier. And more peachy, definitely more tropical, more sweet, and as always, not the finesse nor the complexity of the Magnum.
Now, we've been lucky to occasionally have a Magnum at the Maison, thank you, Mathieu, from quite old vintages.
Yeah.
Where do you think the journey is possible
Yeah.
for a...
Yeah. This will age forever. This one, it's really
Because we...
built to last.
Decades,
There's such it's huge intensity of fruit, beautiful acidity. I don't see anything that would stop it from aging.
Because one that springs to mind is the
Yeah.
88 Louis at the Maison, and it just
Yeah.
seemed almost timeless.
Yeah.
Should I just check with you, which are we toasting to tonight? Bottle of Magnum.
Even if
I nearly got confused then.
yeah, I'm of course the bottle is more open today, but
It is.
as I'm so greedy and I rarely see the Magnum, so I'm still going to go for the Magnum.
The Magnum is, you must smell it once more before we toast.
Yeah.
It's just, I could get lost in that. There's just so much character coming out of it now. Absolutely glorious.
Yeah, delicious.
Thank you, Essie.
Mhm.
Well, we might carry on drinking this because it's tasting so delicious. I hope you get a chance to try this sometime very soon. Thank you, Essie,
Thank you.
and thank you everyone at home.
Cheers.